Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, as always told I had a voice radio, so today I'm going to be showing you a new card from Pokémon Sun and Moon. It is Lillie. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail about Lillie from Pokémon Sun and Moon. No spoilers, need to try and be good. However, I will say that she is one of the main characters in the game, and I really like the artwork. Waterfall, check. Bridge, check. Weird scowl, check. Also, has anyone else noticed that ledge on the waterfall looks an awful lot like an old Sonic the Hedgehog level? Just putting it out there. Now, what this allows you to do is draw until you've got 6 cards in your hand. Unless, of course, it's the very first turn of the game, in which case it allows you to draw until you've got 8 cards in your hand. That's pretty nice. Now, the first thing we need to do is, there's been a whole bunch of these draw until you've got X cards in your hand cards in the past. So let's have a quick trip down memory lane. Couple which have rotated, meaning they are so old they are no longer legal for standard tournament play. Bicycle, an item card that allowed you to draw until you've got 4 cards in your hand. Now, it was only until 4, but it was an item card, meaning you could play as many as you liked per turn, and some speed decks did play this back in the day. One which should by now look rather familiar, Bianca. Draw until you've got 6 cards in your hand, so very much like Lillie, other than, of course, you don't get to draw 8 or until you've got 8, on the first turn of the game. There were quite a few dark decks back in the day that did actually play this quite a bit. Now, Giovanni's allows you to draw until you've got 5 cards in your hand, or do an extra 20 damage. Now, this is legal at the moment, so you've got to ask the question, do I want an extra 1 card, or if I'm on the first turn of the game, 3 cards, or do I want to do the extra 20 damage? And don't rule out this turn 1 thing, because we've already got Shaman that allows us to draw until we've got 6 cards in our hand. So you know what? If I can draw until I've got 6 with Shaman, draw until I've got 6 with a second Shaman, draw until I've got 8 with a Lillie, I might be drawing an awful lot of cards on turn 1. The thing is with Giovanni's, I love doing the extra 20 damage. I've played Giovanni's in a bunch of decks this year, and I like doing the extra damage as much as, if not more than, I like drawing the cards. Now, we've obviously got Shaman. Now, he allows you to draw until you've got 6 cards in your hand, and he's a Pokemon, so you can just go ahead and use him. But there are some serious downsides to Shaman, and let's face it, if you've been playing the game for a while, you'll be familiar with Shaman, you'll know the downsides. It's an ability. So Silent Lab, Hex Maniac, Garbodor are all coming out saying, ha, gutted Shaman, you ain't drawing no cards, boy. And, of course, he's 110 HP, 2 prize EX that sits on your bench. He is just Lysander fodder, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't happen with a supporter. Now, we do have Professor Oak's Hint, which came out in the most recent set, Evolutions, which allows you to draw until you've got 7 cards in your hand, not unlike the Rotated Stadium Tropical Beach. But like the Rotated Stadium Tropical Beach, that ends your turn. This is not particularly great. It's not seeing a huge amount of play. I don't expect it to. Now, there are 2 real questions here. How much play will it see now? And given that it's coming out now and there will be future rotations, we assume, how much play will it see in the future? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very interesting question indeed. Now, as for play now, we've got Shaman, but we've also got 2 very, very good supporters. We've got Professor Sycamore, where you discard your entire hand and draw up till 7. And we've got N, where you refresh your hand. Now, taking Sycamore first of all, yeah, you have to discard your hand, and that can be a pain, but there's very, very few hands where the discard's that painful nowadays. We've got Special Charge for Special Energy, Versus Seeker for supporters, and we've got Super Odd for basic energy and Pokemon. Most stuff you can get back. And you get 7 brand new cards. Now with N, early game you get 6 cards, which is good, but you're refreshing your hand, so you might just draw a bunch of junk again. And of course, in terms of drawing cards, it gets worse and worse as the game wears on. The bonus, of course, with N is that it also forces your opponent to shuffle their hand. So you've got the disruption element there. But if you're really after disruption, you can play stuff like Judge or Red Card, which are early game disruption, which could help quite a bit. So, now, I don't know. And here's my problem with Lillie. I want to play Lillie, but really I see it as a one-off. It is an option. But a lot of the time I'm going to want to play Sycamore or N. The thing is, I'm really going to want to play Lillie on turn 1. And if I'm playing it on turn 1, I'm really going to need to play 4 of them to give me the greatest chances of hitting it on turn 1. And that doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. That is a complete juxtaposition. I can't play 1 as a tech and play 4 to hit it on turn 1. Now, the good news is, good for Lillie, I suppose, that these cards are going to rotate out. So I thought I'd have a look at how old these cards are. Shaman, by the time Sun and Moon comes out, will be 7 sets old. Not counting Generations, I mean sets that come out every 3 months. Generations was kind of an extra bonus set. Roaring Skies is not going to be out that long. It's going to be 2 years old come the summer, and Lillie will have plenty of time without it. But N came out in Fates Collide, which is only 3 sets ago. After Fates Collide, we had Steam Siege, Evolution, Sun and Moon. And Sycamore came out in Steam Siege, or was reprinted in Steam Siege, which means it's only actually 2 sets old, because we had Evolutions, followed by, we will have, Sun and Moon. And this is my big problem. I think this card absolutely has potential. I think it's a good card, and make no mistake about it, we've all been there where that extra card we draw has been the difference. And I do think drawing 6 rather than 5 makes it better than Giovanni's scheme, although you lose the extra 20 damage. And clearly drawing 1 less, but not having to end your turn, makes it better than Professor Oak's hint. But they're not really the cards with which it is competing at the moment. The cards with which it is competing are Sycamore and N, and I don't think it's better than those 2 cards. However, I would not be surprised to see it seeing play, especially for that ridiculous turn 1 you could get. But make no mistake about it, most of the time I still prefer the other supporters. Sorry. Now, you know the deal, ladies and gentlemen. There is a comment section. Chuck your comments down below. Tell me what you think. Have I bigged it up too much? Have I underestimated it? There are like and subscribe buttons. You know what to do. Click them bad boys. And, of course, you can follow me on Twitter @TheWassy. The most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. And you know what? A thumbnail just popped up. Maybe we click it. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.